I can propose in that where you are saying purchase of motor vehicles, purchase of ICT equipment, construction of modern library and ICT center, and construction of speakers residence, at least add there, equip the cafeteria and also the gym, because we have space for that, so that our members, Mr. Speaker, once they have time, we can have facilities for our members. I've been hearing, Mr. Speaker, members complain of so many issues, and we are not providing money to make sure, Mr. Speaker, that the working environment is super for them so that they can work, Mr. Speaker. These members come from home, Mr. Speaker, and sometimes they are stressed because of the pressure they have from home about the development, Mr. Speaker, and some other needs, Mr. Speaker. And even, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell you, there are members who can come from home and they have not taken their breakfast. If we can have a cafeteria here and some other facilities, members can be comfortable in working, Mr. Speaker. And also, Mr. Speaker, on this issue of ICT, we were in the Senate, Mr. Speaker. These things we are using here, Mr. Speaker, are not modern. And we saw what is happening in the Senate, Mr. Speaker. Let's provide money for that so that it can be possible for us, Mr. Speaker, to have modern equipment which we can use in this assembly, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, lastly, not even before that page 29, I wanted also, Mr. Speaker, to talk about just almost the end, to talk about Ogembo municipality, Mr. Speaker. They have given us the priorities they want to do in Ogembo, Mr. Speaker, and many of them. I was shown, Mr. Speaker, and I can produce a copy of a permit for businesses in Ogembo this year, Mr. Speaker. People who used to pay a business license of 10,000, Mr. Speaker, when you add environment and fire, they used to pay close to 15,000. Mr. Speaker, because of now Ogembo is a municipality, they are paying 49,000. And I can give you an evidence of what is happening. Mr. Speaker, even me, I have an hardware. I used to pay close to 12,000. Now I'm paying 24,500. I'm an example, Mr. Speaker, and I can give several examples, Mr. Speaker, where you can see that the status of Ogembo is coming up because it is a municipality. And Mr. Speaker, if you can see on that page of almost the last page, almost the last page where they are talking about Ogembo municipality, Mr. Speaker, they are talking about several issues they want to do in Ogembo to make sure, Mr. Speaker, that Ogembo as a pipi.
Yes, point of order, leader.
Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand on standing order number 27. 3A for extent of the sitting time. And ask Honorable Mbaji to second.
I rise to second, Mr. Speaker, because given on the weighty issue that is at hand, and I know it's of utmost interest on the members, we need that extension to until such a time that we shall have accomplished our debate. So I second, Mr. Speaker. Can you put a question?
Thank you, honorable members. Because it is true our time is almost coming to an end at 12, and it is the wise wisdom of the leader. I now propose a question which is that pursuant to standing order number 27, subsection 3, this House is resolved to extend this sitting time. Yes, Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, we request that you put a question.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now now put a question which is that pursuant to Standing Order number 27, subsection 3, this House resolved to extend its sitting time. As many of the same opinion say aye, as many of the contrary opinion say nay, the aye have it. Honorable Ndali, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I can only now take about 1 or 2 minutes. I will not take time because the leader of majority, who is my leader, has warned me. And you have to listen to your leader, Mr. Speaker. I was saying about the infrastructure that is supposed to take place in Ogembo, so that as a new municipality, Mr. Speaker, it can be given some milk so that it can start growing, Mr. Speaker. They have given several, and I can say one of them, Mr. Speaker, is about the installation of iMast and the solar street lights, grading, upgrading of urban roads to bitumen standards, Mr. Speaker, construction and maintenance of urban roads, Mr. Speaker. They are talking about a market, they are talking about a bus park, and even, Mr. Speaker, they are talking about a sewerage system, Mr. Speaker, a cemetery, Mr. Speaker. They are talking even acquiring site for damming, Mr. Speaker. They are talking all of those, Mr. Speaker. But when you come, Mr. Speaker, to page 31, where they have proposed the funds allocation to sectors, Mr. Speaker, they are only providing 40 million, Mr. Speaker. And I remember when we started municipality of Kisii, Mr. Speaker, we were providing close to 460 million, Mr. Speaker, because I was in this budget for the last the last assembly, Mr. Speaker. I'm not complaining, but Mr. Speaker, for a child who is growing, Mr. Speaker, because there are so many infrastructure which is supposed to be done in that town, to start good planning, Mr. Speaker, so that also people can settle there. And I've seen, Mr. Speaker, the governor recently gave approval so that we can have affordable housing in Ogembo. They have started building, Mr. Speaker. We don't have a public cemetery. We don't have a sewerage system, Mr. Speaker. We don't have a bus park. And we don't have even a market, Mr. Speaker. And so many roads have not been opened. I want to request this House, as a pepe who's growing, at least provide some substantial money so that we can start this town well. Therefore, we cannot have a municipality and do not give them money, because I remember Honorable Amos Ondeli, when we were launching the municipality, you said very well that indeed we are launching the municipality. But again, give them money so that as we started this municipality, that the municipality can start developing, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, my humble request to this House is that at least provide some money so that we can start well in Ogembo as a municipality, so that we can open up. People who come from Uja can get where to go, rather than all of us coming for services in Kisii, and yet we have other small towns which we can develop. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
2023 ADP, which had a projection of 13.7 billion, was only successful up to 87.07, that is 11 billion. Now, looking at this plan, the 2024-2025 plan, they are projecting 17.43 billion as the total money that we need to make this plan possible.
Yes, on a point of information.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am standing before this assembly to inform Honorable Amos Mokaya that he sits in the budget committee, and therefore the issues that he's raising, the holes that he's poking in that report, Honorable Speaker, he did not raise them when we were sitting as a budget committee, Honorable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'm wondering,
which kind of information Mr. Nkoba wanted to give me, because I haven't rejected that I was part of the budget committee. I'm just saying these issues, and we have always raised them in the budget committee, but you find that the final report is not capturing them. So, Mr. Nkoba, I'm not objecting that I didn't see it in this
Honorable Amos, don't address Honorable Nkoba.
Okay.
Address you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me make my point.
Honorable Gugu.
Honorable Speaker, I'm getting worried about the budget committee. I cannot expect the two members to exchange on matters discussed in the budget committee. By the way, matters, Honorable Speaker, should not land in this house. Honorable Speaker, if Honorable Amos did disagree with the committee, he will have dissented. And then the report should be in this report. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm wondering how this committee is working. If you are dissent, Honorable Speaker, should be reported in the report. Honorable Speaker, then you can up the assembly and Honorable Speaker disagree. So, I'm not understanding.
Honorable members, how do I wish that the budget committees give other members chance to? Nevertheless, it is your right, of course. Yes, Leader.
No. Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to inform this House that budget members, that's why you are seeing Honorable Boss is quiet, because he knew what we talked. You're seeing very many members of budget like me, we are not talking. These are the people who do not attend meetings. They go to Kisumu to loiter in town. Now they are coming to this assembly, Mr. Speaker, to start contributing here. I'm urging members, and I'm urging the leader of minority, that we have very many members who can serve in budget committee, whether you are in minority or majority, and if you are not participating in the committee, like Amos, we have the power. We can remove him and replace him with another member who is very able to contribute.
Leader, can you substantiate that the Amos does interfere?
I saw him in the last meeting. If you come, he was loitering in town, Mr. Speaker. He was coming for a meeting.
Leader.
He was loitering there.
Order. You know, honorable members, I think this is the time for the joy leaders who want now to make noise. Honorable must proceed for 1 minute. Let us not be joy leaders in making noise.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let Amos proceed. For 2 minutes.
Thank you for protecting me. And I have every right to contribute in the House the same way I contribute in the budget committee. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to raise two issues. The first one was on financing. I was wondering why our budget, as much as I didn't raise it during the budget committee level, with a projection of 17.43 billion, and yet we are only able to raise 12.53 billion. I'm wondering how we gonna fill that gap of about 4.7 billion, considering that the previous year we didn't even meet our target. That was my concern. And then my last concern, Mr. Speaker, protect me from honorable.
Let him finish.
My last concern was on ward-based planning, stroke budgeting. Looking at this plan, Mr. Speaker, and we raised these issues during our budget committee meeting. We've been wanting to do our planning based on wards and not sectors. But looking at this final report, Mr. Speaker, you find that the planning is based on sectors, which is unfair to some wards. And Mr. Speaker, I wanted to raise one issue. There is this issue of planning, and then you find that they are saying that they are planning to do the activities on all wards. For example, looking at the housing for vulnerable persons, Mr. Speaker, this item was in our last ADP, and they said the same case, that they were going to build houses in every ward. But looking at the report,
of the previous year, this has not happened. Again, you find that this item is still there in this budget. They are saying they are going to build these houses in all 45 wards. I find this, Mr. Speaker, as a way of stealing from some wards getting unfair share of the county resources in the name of all wards planning. I propose, Mr. Speaker, that this...
Yes, point of order. Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, I'm worried and I've stood on point of order number 180, Mr. Speaker, about the reports of select committees. And Mr. Speaker, a report has been brought here by a select committee known as Budget Committee, and Honorable Mukaya belongs to that Budget Committee. Mr. Speaker, the standing orders are very clear. On once a report has come, Mr. Speaker, if we did have a dissenting view, Mr. Speaker, his report could have been annexed or attached to this report, Mr. Speaker. Or you have given him time, Mr. Speaker, to start dissenting without a report, Mr. Speaker. Can you please procedurally, Mr. Speaker, allow him come with a dissenting view if there is any other time, Mr. Speaker, but not now, Mr. Speaker, because the standing orders are very clear, Mr. Speaker, on the dissenting views, Mr. Speaker, in a committee.
Honourable members, sometimes Amos has been notorious enough in those meetings, but nevertheless, kindly, because sometimes it becomes ridiculous that when you reach here, you start going against your report. It becomes ridiculous. And honourable members, we have here an annual development plan. It is a plan, like any plan for those who want to get married. You can plan to get married in December, but you get that you are married earlier than December. So, honourable members, kindly, let us not waste time. Let me finish, leader. And how do I wish that you listened to the minority leader when he was supporting this? How do I wish that you listened to him? Because we are here now starting arguing as if this is the implementing document. Honourable boss.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I rise to support this report. Is a very good report, Honorable Speaker. But I also understand that there is a room for some amendments, because that's why we are seated here today, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if we achieve all our annual development plans, then as a county, Honorable Speaker, we shall be shining, and all the other 46 counties should come here for benchmarking, Honorable Speaker. You can agree with me that with the plan we have here today, Honorable Speaker, those are very good projections for this county, Honorable Speaker. I believe in transformation of all the wards, Honorable Speaker. The chair budget has indicated that we are projecting close to 16 billion in this new financial year, Honorable Speaker. And it was very categorical that we have 7 billion set aside for development, Honorable Speaker. What we should be discussing, how much money is going to each ward, Honorable Speaker, and how quick we can achieve that as a county, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Simba town is one of the oldest towns we have here, and that is why specifically I rose to indicate that I have an aspiration that that town also to be upgraded. When we talk about Kisii municipality, Ogembo municipality, we should also be talking about Masimba municipality, Suneka municipality. As a county and as a house, we should have those projections, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the year 2022-2023, there was money set aside 10 million for Masimba town. and I'm requesting the chair budget, Honorable Speaker, this might have passed our eyes that once more should be a matter to discuss and a matter to be considered, Honorable Speaker. And with the 7 billion that we have for the new financial year, Honorable Speaker, Honorable, the leader of minority was a bit not clear. He made it as a question, Honorable Speaker. I'm saying that let us have a projection how much money we can send to each ward, because there is the law of equity, Honorable Speaker. And finally, we talk about our own source revenue, Honorable Speaker. We shall see the control budget report, Honorable Speaker, soon. If the members have not been able to look at it, we have done poorly in terms of our own projection, Honorable Speaker. It's a challenge to the county leadership that we work on that so that we can be able to raise or to achieve the target that we set. I've seen the new target is 800 million. I want to challenge the chair that we need to have a serious consultations and discussions with the executive so that we not just set targets. Let us achieve the targets that we set, because in the last financial year, Honorable Speaker, in the last quarter, we have not been able to achieve our own target. And that cuts down the budget that we get from the national government. For those few remarks, thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Tina.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for according me this opportunity to contribute to this Honorable House. First, I would love to applaud the report before us. Congratulations, the chair and your committee. And I could go straight to the assembly, because this is the house that we come here to transact the county business. Mr. Speaker, if you can look around, the building is hazardous to all of us because there's no emergency exit. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, this house, I've never seen fire extinguishers around. This is something we should look upon because of the security of honorable members. Honorable Richmond, I'm looking after your welfare. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, we need a cafeteria as honorable members. This is my point. Sometimes honorable members don't have a coin. I'm not trying to call you broke, but the chair in his own words say the government is broke. If the government is broke, how about the honorable members? So sometimes when you go out there to seek, to go for lunch, the general public can ambush you, and you can go beyond your budget. So, Mr. Speaker, to accord the dignity of these honorable members, I urge this honorable house to have a cafeteria for honorable members. Mr. Speaker, in the education and vocational training, how I wish that the recruitment of ECD teachers be hastened so that our children can have sufficient teachers, so that because this is the foundation of the society.
Order.
Mr. Speaker, I can see that the chair in his reports, they have included the construction of markets. I'm happy because he has understood that whatever they have been doing was a temporal solution to whatever is happening. Our mothers and our hustlers need permanent solutions so that we can protect them from the rains and the sun. Mr. Speaker, the county credit schemes is a good program because I've seen many people go after Shylocks who exploit our mothers out there. Whatever they gain goes back to the Shylocks and they end always being poor. About the GBV center and the Crichet, this is what we have been requesting as a society. As one person who has worked with an NGO dealing with GBV cases, rape, and violence, Mr. Speaker, this is something that we should have as early as yesterday. Because of these perpetrators threaten the victims, because the victims do not have a safe place they can be taken to so that they can open up. So I applaud this, Mr. Speaker. to Ogembo municipality, Mr. Speaker, for a municipality to be given this, there are so many requirements that need to be considered. Mr. Speaker, the allocation for Ogembo municipality is way too below because we need a dump site, meaning we need to buy land. Secondly, we need markets. We need roads upgraded into bitumen standards. So, Mr. Speaker, the allocation of offices and buildings, Mr. Speaker, I urge the Honorable House, especially the Budget Committee, to improve on the allocation. Thank you.
Thank you. All the members, let us not be repeating what has been spoken. Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee and thank the Chair for taking leadership in regards to the Annual Development Plan, a very important document. And I want to agree with Honorable Boss Mairura, who spoke about we have the cake, but now we need to know how it's shared across the 45 wards. But I want to invite him that this particular discussion happens when we're having a discussion about the FSP, that's the fiscal strategy paper, that will be able to set the ceilings and also clearly show what activities or programs will be carried out across the 45 wards. So Honorable Boss Mairura and the entire House is invited this weekend to deliberate on the fiscal strategy paper that will be able to set the ceilings and clearly show what goes to Masimba and what goes to Masige West. I want to go on record that the attachment, what we call the annexure to this particular document, did not carry the aspirations of the people of Masige West, the people of Boitangare, where Honorable Ware comes from, and this we have actually showed it through our budget committee wall, and I'm happy that the chair has read those items that were supposed to appear in the line of Masige West, and the chair, let's go on record that Boitangare, Bas Boitangare, the Honorable Ware, has also forwarded the document that was supposed to be attached in that particular ward. So let's go on record that it's there. Honorable Speaker, the biggest challenge we have now is not actually even the ADP. Our biggest challenge is to ensure that we have the budget that we had done in the last year to make sure that it's implemented to the dot by the end of this 12 months. We are in March now, heading to April. We have 2 months and a few days to close the financial year for this particular year. And I want to invite the chairpersons of committees to a liaison committee this afternoon, where we should be able to ask ourselves how much of the budget that we passed here has been implemented and what is pending and where are we, so that we can get a report from each committee through the chair in the next 1 week to ensure that we are able to tell which ward the project has been implemented, what is pending, and what needs to be done from the executive to ensure that we have all this project we did last year are implemented. Because what will happen is, if we don't do that, at the end of this year, we'll have all the programs that we did for the last year budget moving forward to 2024, 2025. And that means at the end of the day, even if we talk about so many things to be done in Masimba, so many things to be done in Masige West, it will be a waste of time because I will have carried forward a lot of projects. I want to ask the members that as we hold this meeting this afternoon for the liaison committee, that we able to hold the chief officers and the ministers into account and get proper reports on implementation of the previous budget. Then this particular report will be able to guide the House and also the MCS for different wards to understand the level of implementation in terms of all the projects and all the departments. So I will ask that the chairpersons of committees who I chair through the liaison committee, that through the meeting we will ask that the next week our discussion should be based on implementation of the previous budget and exact timelines for us to be ensured that we have this budget implemented fully. So thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and I want to ask that given the time, we could have put a question, but I've seen honorable members raising their hands.
Honorable Gugu, thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I want to be very brief. I support Honorable Mairura, Honorable Ndari, Honorable the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Edina, and the like. Now, Speaker, I want to draw the chair budget to page 27. Honorable Speaker, on page 27, on the Department of Lands and Housing, I've not seen the current affairs in this country, Honorable Speaker, from the head of state about affordable housing. It's not mentioned anywhere, and you know housing is devolved, it's a devolved function. So I may say that that should also be included, and I want to thank the Honorable Member for Boji Tendere. I'm told I've heard they're preparing for affordable housing in that ward. That's the way to go. That will grow. And Honorable Ndali, what you do, just close your ears. And that's a good project. I will enable it in that area. Mr. Speaker, I also want to agree with the minority about the village administrators. But Mr. Speaker, even honorable about the ECD teachers. But Mr. Speaker, let us be realistic. It's a good idea. I've been also advocating for that. But Mr. Speaker, our wage bill is 62%. 62%. Is it possible? Let our members think about it. I've approached the service board, Mr. Speaker. My ward has no ward admin. They have told me they're not employed because of lack of resources. I don't know how we'll be able to employ when our wage bill is 62%. So it's all of us to think on how to do this. I want to give the chair and the budget committee, also in $1 billion, is realistic. They are giving us estimates. At the end of the day, when we get the actual resources is when we spend. So when we spend $1 billion, this is a good idea. Chair, we should be ambitious in what we do in this county. Finally, Mr. Speaker, because of time, and the next motion is for my committee, I request you to put a question.
Honorable members, I know this is a very critical issue we are discussing, and nevertheless, for those who have heard what Honorable Rito Manuda said, what Honorable Bosia said, this is just a plan we are planning as the Assembly, and there are several documents which we can interact this document with as we move forward as an Assembly. Honourable members, I now put a question which is that this House adopts a report of the Select Committee on the Budget and Appropriation Committee on the Kisii County Annual Development Plan for the financial year 2024-2025, laid on the table on 6th March 2024. As many of the same opinion say aye, as many of the contrary opinion say nay, the aye have it. Before I move, honourable members, to the next order, I have the following communication to make. Honourable members, I know on 22nd February 2024, pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, as read together with the Standing Order number 60 and 61, this House approved the motion for the removal from office of the Deputy Governor of Kisii County, His Excellency Dr. Robert Monda. Honourable members, on Thursday, 14th March 2024, the Senate upheld the impeachment motion passed by the Kisii County Assembly. Consequently, honourable members, Honourable Robert Monda ceased to hold office. Honourable members, Section 33, Section 10 of the County Government Act number 17 of 2012 states that a vacancy in the office of the governor or deputy governor arising under this section shall be filled in the manner provided for by Article 182 of the Constitution of Kenya. Further, honourable members, Section 32T, subsection 1 of the County Government Amendment Act number 11 of 2020 states that where a vacancy arises in the office of the Deputy Governor, as provided for under Section 32C, the Governor's shall, within 14 days, nominate the Deputy Governor, and with the approval of the County Assembly, appoint of the County Government Amendment Act, number 11 of 2020 states that the County Assembly shall consider a motion for approval for the appointment of the Deputy Governor within 14 days, and resolves whether to approve the motion, and having failed to make a resolution. Honourable members, I am pleased to inform this Honourable House that I have received a communication from His Excellency, the Governor of Kisii, Simba Arati, which reads as follows. Submission of nominee for the post of the Deputy Governor for vetting by the County Assembly of Kisii. Pursuant to provision of Section 32T of the County Government Amendment Act 2012, as led with the provision of the Public Appointment County Assembly's Approval Act number 5 of 2017, I do here nominate the following person as on below for the position of the Deputy Governor for the vetting and approval by the County Assembly. Name, Mr. Elijah Opepo. ID number 16004184. Honourable members, pursuant to Article 179, subsection 2 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, and Standing Order number 185, subsection 4, I hereby commit the nomination of Mr. Richard Opepo as the Deputy Governor of Kisii County Government to the Committee on Appointment for vetting and report back to this House within 14 days. Next order.
Order number 9, Mr. Speaker, sir, is a motion, report of the Public Accounts and Investments Committee by Honorable Timothy Ogugu, the Chairman, Public Accounts and Investment Committee.
Honorable Ogugu. I'll put the point of order is not what the Speaker said, because you cannot challenge the communication of the Speaker. Proceed, Honorable Ogugu. But the point of order, proceed. Yeah, you can congratulate me, or the Governor. Fine, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, it's almost lunch, Honorable Speaker. The sugars are not okay. And I cannot challenge what you have read because you have the mandate given to you by this House. But Honorable Speaker, I just raised to make an inquiry through the chair and those who have relevant information, whether we have a statement to that effect over what you have read, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Boss, I have told you, you cannot challenge what the Speaker has led. You come to my office if you want further clarifications. Honorable Ogugu, proceed. Okay. Point of order, Honorable Ndari. And you mentioned the order.
Mr. Speaker, I was just standing on standing order number 93. But Mr. Speaker, I've realized Honorable Ogugu has not moved the motion. Therefore, let me wait until he moves the motion, Mr. Speaker, so that I can raise that point of order.
Thank you. Honorable Ogugu, proceed.
And I want to give my congratulations to the women of this Mokaya as the Chief Legislator of the High Court. Now, Speaker is good. Now, the Judicial, now, Speaker, the Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, and the Registrar of the Honourable Speaker of the Judicial Commission is headed by Honourable Speaker by women. Honourable Speaker, we are heading there. I've been agitating for the involvement of women in public affairs, Honourable Speaker, in this nation. And I'm the first, Honourable Speaker. I'm surprised that the honourable members that gender in this house have not continued to speak their own, Honourable Speaker, for a long time. Honourable Speaker, let me now move the motion. Honourable Speaker, move that this House adopts the report of the Select Committee on Public Accounts and Investments Committee of the Auditor's General's Financial Report of the Kisii County Executive for the period ended 30 June 2022 and laid on the table on 19th March 2024. Honourable Speaker, I'm privileged to chair this committee. Honourable Speaker, I want to highlight the key areas for honourable members to go through this report. I hope they have copies so that they can be able to penetrate on what the committee has done. Honourable Speaker, the mandate of the committee is spelled out in 1.1 on page 2. Honourable Speaker, the Public Accounts Committee shall be responsible for the examination of accounts showing the appropriation of the sum voted by the County Assembly to meet public expenditure and of such other accounts laid before the County Assembly as a committee may think fit. Honourable Speaker, this is what we have done. Honourable Speaker, you can look on the guiding principles and Honourable Speaker, and other laws of this land. Honourable Speaker, Article 201. Honourable Speaker, spells out what has been done. Honourable Speaker, at page 2.
I'm aware, but I'm standing on standing order number 28, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and the standing order says seek leave to move that this county assembly do now adjourn. Mr. We passed a proposal, a procedural motion, Mr. Speaker, of suspending the House Speaker for this afternoon sitting so that we can attend, Mr. Speaker, the taking through of all the memorandums, Mr. Speaker, which have been forwarded to this county assembly for approval. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I know we adjourned that we are not meeting in the afternoon session, Mr. Speaker. But we were also to leave earlier, Mr. Speaker, because the officers are waiting for us so that they can take us through, Mr. Speaker, the memoranda, so that we can give the governor or the county executive time, Mr. Speaker, to implement. That is the reason, Mr. Speaker, and they had asked us as the commission, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that there is lunch. Lunch also, Mr. Speaker, is the sugars are going up, and at least people can go earlier, take lunch, and Mr. Speaker, have the discussions. That's the reason, Mr. Speaker, I'm seeking that we do now adjourn the House, and I ask the leader of majority, Mr. Speaker, to second me. Thank you.
Honourable Member, before I do wish that before Honourable Leader second, we allow him to move his motion, be seconded, so that when we come next time, we just proceed for. Yes, Honourable Nderi.
Honourable Speaker, whereas I support Honourable James Ondari, I agree that the former leader, not necessarily from the standing order, does not need to complete the motion was moving. And I draw your attention to standing order number 28, Honourable Speaker. Standing order number 28 says a member may at any time for reasons stated seek leave to move that this county assembly now adjourned. And Honourable Speaker, if you go to standing order 129, it talks about the resumption of the interrupted business, Honourable Speaker. We will give Honourable Timothy Ogugu an opportunity to commence from where he has left. It does not necessarily require that he has got to complete, Honourable Speaker, and I second the motion moved by Honourable James Ondari.
Can I put the question? Yes, the mover. Just
Mr.
yes,
Speaker, I had not
go.
seconded.
Just 1 minute. The mover. Yes, 1 second. No, he has a burning issue. Yes, Honorable Gugu.
No, Speaker, now the motion has been seconded by Honorable Ndeli. And look, I want to say something, Honorable Speaker, because members, Honorable Speaker, are tired. These are very key, Honorable Speaker, report. That I request that if it can be seconded, Honorable Speaker, we move the motion of the members, settled, Honorable Speaker, because I'm seeing the Speaker levels are very high. Honorable Ndeli is not, it's just diverting. He's getting tired because he's angry. It's diverting attention, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I look at I know my colleagues in this house, Honorable Speaker, they're tired.
I think, Honorable Gugu.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Note that the honorable members are tired. It is true that yesterday we moved the motion here, and the time has come for it. It was not the House business wish that we finish your issue today. But because of what we did yesterday, and you see, those are people are waiting as the other side, kindly allow the leader to second the motion so that we proceed with your motion from where you have left. You will start afresh when we meet next time. So that, you know, it is true, as Chajo has said, it's a very critical document for us as the Assembly and as the government. Given the fact that this is, at this time we may not concentrate, and it can give you a good opportunity that that's the first business we'll start with next week. Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand to second, and I really thank the mover because he has read the mood of the House, that Mr. Speaker, members need to go and do some other business. We need to deliberate. Mr. Speaker, especially, you know, the people from the, you know where, we need also to go and support the DG who is coming.
Leader propose.
Mr. Speaker, I don't want to. I stand, Mr. Speaker, to second Honorable Ndari. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I now